Let's get into it. Coach Colin News. I was about to say the other channel. Coach Colin News here. Now, I've been seeing this all over the place. People talking about The Rock and his non-endorsement of Joe Biden. And I've been noticing this small clip, like 40 seconds. Anytime I see stuff like this going on, instead of just grabbing the clip that everybody else grabs, I try to find the interview and go a little deeper and see what's really going on. And there was like a 6-minute clip where they're talking about this topic. I was like, I gotta bring these people the goods. Can't just go on based on a few seconds. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to be showing you that clip and then another clip. But you guys already know everybody's been trying to, well, shouldn't say everybody. I should probably just say the media has been trying to paint the narrative that The Rock is the one that could beat Donald Trump, that he's the best option, that he would be a great president, all of which I do not think so. This is a crazy website that I found. Just in doing a little bit of research. There is a website called Dwayne for Prez, and it's just outlining all the things about The Rock and how great he is and how he needs to be president. Absolutely ridiculous. I do not know that he would be a great president. I think, again, back to this article here, I think the reason that people at all, if anybody really wants The Rock, is because they feel like he could beat Trump. And you know what? I don't think they're right. I think you are. I don't think that there's one person who's wearing a red hat who's going to take that hat off and be like, is The Rock here? I don't think that's happening at all. Let's get to the clip that everybody's talking about, but I'm going to show you a little bit before. I'm going to show you a bunch after. So let's get into it.
Other people in terms of, again, being direct and being honest.
So let's be direct, let's be honest. There was a time that you used your fame, and it was a time that not everybody was happy. And that was a few years ago.
That's right.
And you made a very big point. You said, I've never done this before. I've never endorsed a political candidate.
That's
and
right.
you endorsed Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. And I'm being real with you, and you're being real with me.
Sure.
A lot of people on Fox watching us, you and I talk right now, remember that and wonder about that. So how do you feel now in retrospect with that endorsement?
In what way?
Are you happy that you made that endorsement in 2020? Are you happy with the state of America?
Am I happy with the state of America right now? Well, that answer is no. Do I believe we're going to get better? I believe in that. I'm an optimistic guy, and I believe we can get better. The endorsement that I made years ago with Biden was one I thought was the best decision for me at that time. And I thought back then, when we talk about, hey, I'm in this position where I have some influence, and it's my job then. I felt like that then. It's my job now to exercise my influence and share with this is who I'm going to endorse. Am I going to do that again this year? That answer is no. I'm not going to do that, because what I realized, and I didn't realize it back then, Will, but I realize it today. And back then, just like I am today, very lucky, I was then the most followed American man in the world, and I am today the most followed American man in the world, and I appreciate that. But I also realized that what that caused back then was something that tears me up in my guts back then and now, which is division. And that got me, and I didn't realize it then. I just thought, hey, our country feels like there's a lot of unrest. It feels like I would like things to calm down. Maybe we need a change. This is what I'm going to do, and this is who I'm going to endorse. The takeaway after that, months and months and months, I started to realize, like, oh man, that caused an incredible amount of division in our country. So I realize now, going into this election, I'm not going to do that. I wouldn't do that, because my goal is to bring our country together. I believe in that in my DNA. So in the spirit of that, there's going to be no endorsement. Not that I'm afraid of it at all, but it's just I realize that this level of influence, I'm going to keep my politics to myself. And I think it's between me and the ballot box. But I will tell you this. While, like a lot of us out there, not trusting of all politicians, I do trust the American people, and I trust that whoever they vote for, that's going to be my president, and that's who I'm going to support 100%.
I trust, by the way, I feel the exact same way. I trust Americans.
Yes.
No matter the state of this country, no matter its political leadership, I inherently trust the moral backbone, the culture that is uniquely American. And I appreciate that. In the spirit of avoiding divisiveness and honoring unity, you do not want to endorse someone in 2024. We talked about that mountaintop, though. Okay,
Sure.
and you and I on the floor of the stock exchange talked about this.
Yes. Well, let me ask you something really quickly, because
Please,
again,
yeah.
would you endorse? Will you endorse? Like, how do you feel about that? Because you're in a position too, as well, where you're influential.
Now he's putting me on the spot. I've never answered this question. You know, Dwayne, I've never formally endorsed.
But I love our flow. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So
I've never done that. I've never formally endorsed someone, and I don't know why. It's no secret. Anybody watching will know which ways I lean and who I lean against and who I lean for. And I'll be honest with you or anybody else, the way I've voted every single time. But a little bit, I've always considered the ballot box as private. I mean,
yes.
I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem telling you or America, you know, I will vote for Donald Trump.
Sure.
But I don't know about I've just never made a point of my endorsement. And that was a big moment. And that's why I wanted to ask you about today. It was a big moment for you.
Yes.
As you mentioned, you're very influential. To the point of this, we talked about it. Mm-hmm. You running for president. People talk about it. You've talked about it.
Yes.
So, you know, you're not going to make an endorsement in 24.
Right.
I assume what?
As I break out more.
You know, you're
I knew this question was coming.
Are you going to ever seriously run for president? Answer that question seriously, consider it seriously, and make that that mountaintop run for president.
As of now, no. That's not my intention. Will, I'm not a politician. I'm not into politics. I care deeply about our country. I'm a patriot, and I believe you are too, as well. And right now, my desire and my priorities are my babies and school drop-offs and pickups and things like that. That's important to me, because I also have a 22-year-old who I like to say we grew up together. And I know what it's like to be in a business. At that time, I was a full-time professional wrestler on the road over 300 dates a year. And I missed a lot of her growing up. And I understand what that is if you become president and how all that goes away. And I don't want that to go away. And I also feel like in the spirit of bringing people together and bringing our country together, I don't know if that's the right move at this point. Possible. I don't know. So truth is,
as of now, you said.
As of now.
I mean, this is what I asked you about.
As I bring another drink.
This is legacy. This is there something to serve others outside yourself? Is that a potential mountain? Is that something that you said as of now, 2028?
It always is, Will, and I got to tell you, we might have talked about this either on or off camera last time we were together, is, man, my family was evicted out of Hawaii when I was 14 years old. We couldn't pay the rent, and we were gone. We were kicked off the island. And from that kid to then not knowing where I was going to live, winding up in Nashville, and then going up to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and kind of all over the place. From that kid to a good amount of Americans feel like I would do a decent job of becoming president. It's still very surreal to me. And I'm honored by that. And this idea of legacy, building New Mountain, more than yourself, bringing our country together. Right now, my main priority is being a daddy and continuing to build these other things, but also, again, being in the position I am, just like you said, my trust, unequivocal, is with the American people. And whoever they decide to make president, then again, that's my president, that's our president, and we're going to support it.
Let's talk about.
So as The Rock does, very, very much in the middle, and that's why him saying I will not endorse Joe Biden stood out so much to everybody, because he's usually so in the middle of things, you know? But that was a very outright statement that he will not be endorsing them. I wonder why. It's probably because of the state of America. Again, doesn't matter how left-leaning you are, it's very hard to deny what you can see with your own eyes. If you could just watch YouTube videos of people, random independent journalists going to the border. You can hear mainstream media talking about the border. You can see so many different things. You can feel it in your when you're going to the grocery store. You can just feel it in things that really impact people. Unless you are millionaire status, you're feeling what's going on. So, which he is. So, I don't know. Maybe he was just told this. Now, he won't endorse Biden, refuses to say whether or not he'll vote for Trump. What are the other options? Is he voting for RFK? Is that what we're thinking, that this guy's going to vote for RFK? I don't think so. I think he's either going to vote for Biden and just doesn't want to say it, or he's going to vote for Trump and doesn't want to say it. I don't know. I don't really see him voting for RFK. I have no idea. And that's the way he likes it. And I shouldn't even say that's the way he likes it. That's the way whoever finances these companies and runs these companies in the background, his ex-wife being one of which, that's the way they like it. I think that this happened just now, him not endorsing Biden, because he remembered who his base is. The Rock is like the Bud Light of celebrities. And I don't mean in regards to any trans issues. I just mean in regards to the people who love The Rock the most are usually right-leaning people. Because first of all, think of the woke left. They don't like The Rock. They don't like the fact that he works out, because that's fat phobic. They don't like the way he operates in movies because it's violent and this and that. So who likes what he does? Who watches wrestling? He just made a comeback into wrestling. Now he's like on I don't even know what it's called anymore. SmackDown. I haven't watched it since I was a kid. But I know he's made his comeback. Who are those people? What is that audience? That's the same audience that Bud Light had, that they pretty much almost demonized and lost forever. So I think he learned his lesson via that. I don't even think it's because of how the country is. I think it's because it's going to affect his pocketbook, and it's not something that the WWE would want him to do. And I think for him, it's money over politics. I think it's business over politics for him. He is a brand. He is a business in and of himself. If he decides to take certain stances, it is, again, especially just going back to wrestling, if he takes a stance of, I'm endorsing Biden, he is going to get booed every single night he goes out there. And some people, some middle America people will be like, I'm not going to that organization. If he takes a stand too hard, he might get the Bud Light treatment. The whole WWE might get the Bud Light treatment. So I think that is a massive part of why. And then I will say this. You know what? Let me just go to this video instead. I got another video because just 4 months ago, right? He's saying now when it comes to running for president, he'll never do it. He doesn't want to do it. But just 4 months ago, he was on Rogan. He was doing this whole press tour of sorts where he just kept talking about, you know, if that's what the people want, I've been approached by parties.
Familiar face on the big screen and in the world of wrestling. Now, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson says he's been approached by several parties and asked to run for president.
If that's truly what the people want, then of course I will consider it.
That is The Rock speaking Thursday when the news broke during an episode of Trevor Noah's new podcast, What Now? Noah mentioned a 2021 poll that showed 46% of the U.S. adults would support The Rock as a presidential candidate. The 51-year-old said he was blown away when he realized just how enthusiastic some people were to the idea of him entering politics. John didn't specify which political party approached him and implied he has no intention of running right now, but did suggest his mind could change.
Hey, several parties? What do you mean several parties approached him? Probably Canada too. That's probably what happened. Canada was like, please, man, we just want someone cool. We're tired of Pierres and Trudeau's, and we just want someone cool, sir. Can you please? You have dual citizenship. And he's like, I have to go choke slam somebody. I don't even know if that's his move. He does the elbow, right? Is that what it is? I'm not a kid anymore. I don't watch that stuff. But that was just 4 months ago. He was saying all that stuff. He was on Rogan, which was the most forced episode of Joe Rogan that you'll ever see in your life. He really was. But just 4 months ago he was saying that. Now he's saying this. I don't really know what's going on with him. But one thing I can tell you, for anybody who's watching who does think that he'd be a good president, you do not have to be almost 82 years old with the name Joe Biden for you to be controlled by people behind the scenes. It's a well-known thing that he does not decide what he's going to do and what he's going to say. Now, you might ask, why am I saying that? Well, because he's a massive celebrity. Celebrities have assistants and handlers, PR, agents, managers, all of these things. And all of these people dictate what is the best thing for you to do. He doesn't wake up in the morning and say, you know what I think I'm going to do? He gets a list of things he is going to do. That's it. That's how it works. His handlers, his assistants, they know what he's doing before he does every single day. They're the ones that schedule it, and they make sure that he's there. So to think that he would be a good president is just ridiculous. He is so comfortable being pushed and pulled by outside forces that if he stepped into office, the exact same thing would happen. A couple of men from agencies would step in and just be like, yeah, you got to do this and you got to do that. And listen, we'll give you 2 options. Here's your 2 options. Which one do you want to do? That's all they would do to him. So because a lot of times people think what's happening with Biden is just because he's old. It's not just because he's old. That can happen to anybody. You just have to be susceptible to being controlled. That's why Trump is only, 3 years younger than Biden? And if somebody came in and was like, this is what you're going to do, he'd be like, hold on a second. He would get very, very disagreeable with somebody trying to just make him do things all the time. And he'd probably go on stage and talk about it. You know, they're trying to get me to do this. I told them not to do it. They're trying to make me go to war. I don't want to go to war. You guys want to go to war? They don't want to go to war. We're not going to war. That's what he would do. I'm working on my Trump impression. But yeah, that is the full context of what's going on with The Rock right now. I just wanted to bring that to people because I kept seeing this 46-second clip and I was like, this can't be the whole conversation, right? It's an hour-long conversation with The Rock. It's by a gentleman named Will Kane, who actually works with Fox News. He has his own show. They put out episodes, I think, weekly or so, stuff like that. So he's one of those guys. You can check it out whenever you need to check it out. And again, and you know what? Just to end it off, a lot of people think, right back to this thing here, a lot of people think he's the one who could beat Trump. A lot of people think The Rock is the one that can beat Trump. I do not think so. And here's the reason I don't think so, right? You can look at it. First off, here's one disadvantage that Trump would have against The Rock. He doesn't have too much information on him. You know, with Hillary, it's clear that, she's done things where he could just easily say, you should be in jail. And everybody's kind of like, yeah, okay. You can't say stuff like that to The Rock. You can't talk about anything like that in regards to him, right? He's kept it relatively clean, except for a few sketches where he does some very questionable things and wearing dresses and stuff like that. But other than that, you look at the two and you think, The Rock's pretty business savvy, just like Trump was. But that's not true. In actuality, his ex-wife, whether you know it or not, his ex-wife, they got divorced, but she never left his side. And every single company you see, from the XFL to the tequila company to his production company, she is the one that runs all of it. She uses him as a face. She uses him to get everybody revved up. And then she runs it all from the background. So he's not even business savvy. He has nothing on Donald Trump. And listen, I'll be honest with you. This is me hating a little bit. That's right. I like Trump. Okay? I'm honest about it. I'm hating The Rock a little bit. That's fine. I'm telling you at least. But I just think he has nothing on Trump. That's just me. Hey, like, subscribe, share. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on this new channel. And other than that, I'm out.